channel.
Oh, cool.
Hello! As I do my very weird intro. Thank you. Welcome to the latest episode of the Crafty Boys. This is episode 39, and we're
39?
angry.
We're angry.
We're mad. I'm Shane in Vancouver. Who are you guys?
I'm Alan in Victoria.
And I'm Dave in Comox Valley.
And neither of you are mad
Oh,
enough.
I'm mad. I'm
Alan
really
is
mad.
steaming, can't you tell?
Yeah.
It's his hair is just it's blown off his head. He's so incredibly angry.
It's actually standing on end. Can you see that?
That's impressive, man.
Standing on end.
That's terrifying. I mean, I don't know how you can survive with being hairless.
I'm really angry.
So, Alan, why are we so angry this week? What is our beer and why?
Okay, well, I chose because it was my turn to pick. Russell Brewing's We Angry Scotch Ale.
We angry.
We're angry.
Mad.
We're angry. I picked this because I really love it when people use the term "we" to describe something little.
We
And it makes
angry
me-
Scotch Ale.
It makes me want to say it in like a Scottish accent. Now I'm half Scottish, so I feel like I have the right to say that I'm Scottish, 50% Scottish. So I'm not going to try and speak it with an accent. Shane's pulling out the googly eyes.
No, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So it's a wheat angry Scotch ale, and the other reason why I picked this is because it just seems like around the world this week there's been so much anger and sadness and everything. So I figured I'd pick an angry beer to go along with all the anger that exists globally right now. So that's why I picked this one. It is, like I say, it's from Russell Brewing, which it's in Vancouver, isn't it?
Russell Brewing, yes.
Yes. It's a Scotch ale. It's a 6.5% alcohol, and the IBUs is a number 30, which we discussed last week. The Dave,
Yeah.
what was that? The International Beer Unit.
National Beer Units, yes.
Your beer has a level of 30 on the IBU scale. Congratulations on making it to the scale of the International Beer Units. All right, well,
It's not Super Mario Brothers, you know. We're not doing levels.
let's pop this mother open. And full disclosure, I've had it before and I like it. So
I've had it before as well, and I do like it as well.
And what are you pulling open your beer with?
Oh.
What is that there you have in your hand?
Bottle opener.
Cool. Dave, how are you opening your beer?
Oh, hang on a second. I've got the pour going on
Or
here.
he's already pouring. This is
Okay, so that's how I'm opening my...
Little man.
Little
All right,
man.
I am, of course, using the Valley Penis from...
For those interested in my bottle opener, this is a cool little gift I got. It actually collects the bottle caps inside this little canister here. So I can actually go through and open it up and pull out, and I can see that. See, at one point we did parallel 49. See that? So it's almost like a logbook of the beers that we have had here.
It is almost,
Until
actually.
it gets full and I throw them out.
I've
That's
got... I do happen to have some beer caps from the past couple episodes on my
Is that
desk
because
here.
you're reminiscing, or because
I'm
you're
re-
too lazy to throw them
I'm
out?
too lazy to recycle them. Mine are boring. Look at that. That's a boring... Look at that thing. That's just so boring. Then, of course, you have this one here. Look at that. Boring.
No, see,
then, of
those,
course-
those are beers with confidence.
And now
They
this...
don't-
Now, here
they
we go.
don't
This is
need
this
any
week's.
glitz. They don't need any of that bullshit. They know what they've got, and they don't have to show
All right, I'm
off.
pouring.
Okay, here's my Wee Angry Scotch Ale from Russell. So I have to own up to something. I have to send out an apology to Russell Brewing because I went and tweeted this episode tonight earlier today, and I was busy doing a couple of things at the same time, and I accidentally put in the wrong company name.
So you said Angry Scotch Ale by who?
By Muskoka. You know what? I'm not going to say because it was wrong, and I'm not going to repeat it here. So I've deleted that tweet, and so my apologies to Russell, and we'll fix that later.
We got to apologize to Russell Brewing. So Russell Brewing,
we don't have to apologize. We don't have to apologize, but we'll put out a proper tweet saying we enjoyed Russell Brewing's.
Oh, now we're kowtowing to the people. Kowtowing? What the hell?
Yeah, that's a right word. Yeah.
Guess what? Belly penis. All right, so. Hey, Allison.
Right. Are we tasting
or what? Come get your beer. I'm gonna drink it for you.
Don't fucking drink my beer, Burley! It's my anniversary. Give me that damn beer.
Happy anniversary, honey. 15 years of the wrong woman. Ow.
I fucking heard that. Hi, everybody.
I'm so glad you were not even in the shot. That made me so happy. Okay. Drinking the beer. Angry Scotch Ale from Russell Brewing. And we're not sorry. At least not right now. But
that smells good.
I might be sorry later.
We talked about this before, but I think we're going to have an actual contest here on the show and have people write in to think where we can find your body next week.
Yeah, exactly.
After Allison kills you.
I gotta say, now, all kidding aside, I have had this beer quite a bit, and I'm very happy about it. So,
I haven't had it quite a bit. I have had it before, and I liked it.
It's on tap a lot around these parts, so I do see it periodically, and I probably would say I've had it, I don't know, once or twice, probably in the last month, out and about. So the whole thing about this is that this is kind of one of those pseudo-peated ones where it's sort of basically dirt. And it's very successful because I really like it. It's got that sort of scotchiness to it a little bit. I like scotch. I like scotch. Scotch is good for my tummy. Because I've had a bunch of peated ales now, and a lot of them are really bad. This one, however, I mean, I don't think this is officially a peated ale, is it? No. It uses a peated malt, apparently. But essentially, yeah, I mean, they've got a really good, they've got a 30 rating on the International Beer Units. Thank you for that, Dave. Thank you for that. I cannot think of an IBUs ever. Soon it will be UBIs and BIUs, and yeah, it won't matter.
UB40s.
UB40s. Rad beer. So yeah, I mean, it's I like this beer so much that I have had it many times, and it's never steered me wrong. It does have a strong flavor, so if you like your beers a little tamer, this one might be a little bit stronger. There's definitely going to be some International Beer Units involved, and but it's got a nice color. It's a very dark. I mean, I originally, when I first saw this beer, I thought it was Guinness, but somebody had poured it for me, and I was like, oh, Guinness, great. Oh, whoa, wait a minute, that's not Guinness. But you can't
this with Guinness. It looks nothing like Guinness. The head isn't there. It's dark, but not that dark.
To me, it's dark. It's hugely dark. Look at that.
I can
still see through it. It's a really deep red.
You can't see through a Guinness. Plus, there's all that thing with the head and the cascading and all that. You don't get that with this beer.
It definitely does not taste like Guinness at all. But yeah, no. Overall, I give this beer a thumbs up because I have returned to it several times, and I have never ever
today.
Several times today.
Shut up. I've totally forgotten what the hell I was talking about. So anyway, but overall, it's very strong. It has a very kind of almost a smoky-ish flavor, slightly. Definitely has that strong. Actually, this is weird. It has a strong, mild hops kick to it. It has the sort of the strength of what a hoppy beer like an IPA would be, but it doesn't taste like an IPA. It has a different texture to it. So overall, I give it a thumbs up. And 30 international beer units can never steer you wrong. What do you guys think? What is your? I'm assuming you guys have had this before. Maybe not.
I've had this before. I had it once actually. I rarely try beers more than once. There's just so much out there and so much to try. I want to try something different every single time. So a beer has to be exceptionally good for me to go back again. Having said that, I mean, I really liked it when I had it that one time, and that was one of the reasons why I chose it for this time, because I wanted to have something that was really good that we could all get our hands on, which has been a bit of a problem for us of late. So this one seemed like a good solution. There were some other beers that I was looking at. In fact, one also from Russell was the Naughty and Spiced Porter.
That sounds
which is
good.
their Christmas offering. I don't think it's quite available yet. I saw it at one store here, but I wasn't sure if you guys would have it available in your areas. So I thought we could save that for another time. But staying with Russell, the Wee Angry Scotch Ale, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's such a great beer. Dave?
What you said.
Thanks for the input, Dave.
No worries. That's what I'm all about.
This
I've never
podcast
had
would
this
be
before.
nothing without you.
Oh, I know. I've never had this before, but as I was saying to a coworker earlier, what?
It's just like what you said. It's like that guy from the Family Guy, the weather guy. It's like, so Joe, what's the weather like out today? It's wet. And that's it. That's all he does. Then he cuts back to whoever was, So thank you. Yeah. So again, on behalf of everybody in the world, thank you, Dave.
So Dave, you were talking to a coworker about this beer earlier.
Yes, because he's kind of a beer guy. He likes to try different stuff all the time too. I guess he's a bit like you. He likes to, do different stuff regularly, and so I kind of keep him updated about what I've been trying. And he actually was working tonight, so I said, "Oh yeah, we're doing this Angry Scotch, and I'm really looking forward to it because I know it's going to be steering toward kind of Guinness territory, and I know I enjoy Guinness, so I'm really looking forward to trying this one." And it doesn't disappoint.
No.
I like it.
Cool.
It's heavy.
It is heavy. It's a good fall beer. Good one to have in the autumn.
It's something you would eat like turkey with.
Whoa.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh wow! Dead silence.
Well, maybe. I guess I never really thought about it.
I just think I would explode if I tried to do that.
What would be a good setting for it would be like, I don't know if anybody watching, and there's probably nobody watching, but if anybody was watching and if they've ever been to the 6 Mile Pub in Victoria or in Colwood, I guess, with the fireplace right there and all the wood and all that, and sitting there and having one of those and maybe some like peanuts or
potato skins.
Yeah, typical pub food. This would be the perfect beer for that. Hey, 6 Mile, get some of this
right now. Don't delay.
All right.
I totally forgot what I was talking about. So, how do you How do you have a lighthearted podcast when we've had so much awful shit happen in the last week? Since we last recorded last Wednesday night, there have been 4 major bombing attacks in one, of course, in Paris, and of course we had, I think, 2 in Africa and 1 in Beirut. And there was one today in Africa as well, which
really?
I don't remember where, but it happened earlier, like in the afternoon, our time. How do you have a podcast where you can talk about funny stuff when all of this kind of negativity is going on? Dave, go.
Whoa, seriously? Well, here's the thing. How can you not? I think when the shit's hitting the fan the way it is, and honestly, I didn't even realize that there was so much other stuff going on. I'd heard about Paris, but I'm so...
But that's part of the issue.
What?
The fact that you, and not just you, but I mean, like, a lot of people in North America doesn't know that other stuff is happening because it doesn't involve white people.
No, actually. It's got nothing to do with white people. Or otherwise. It has to do with the fact that there's no real point in being plugged into the news constantly every day because really, what does it do? Nothing. Well, okay, not nothing. It serves to get you all riled up and angry and indignant and sad and whatever, but there's no percentage in it. There's no point in getting all wrapped up in it because what are we going to do? 3 guys sitting here on the west coast of BC, what the fuck are we really going to do? You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's good to be aware of what's going on out there, but I just don't see there being a real point to keeping plugged in every day. Like, I know people who shall remain nameless who are basically news junkies, and they watch probably a couple of 3 hours every day, pretty much. Every single freaking day. And I just couldn't do that. I think I would just want to slip my wrists if I did that. Because there is so much of this kind of stuff going on now, you know, and it'd be easy to just say, okay, forget it. The world is just exploding everywhere. And what's the point? So I say, how can we have funniness in a world that's got all this? Well, I say we need funniness in a world that's gone like this. We need to have some lightness because otherwise, what else is there?
I agree.
All right, then let's make fun of Alberta.
Let's do that.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yay, Alberta. Well, the whole point we bring it up is that we were talking about it before the show about how, and you brought to our attention, Alan, that the government of Alberta is doing some ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, so I think the new government in Alberta has done a lot of really good stuff. But one thing that they're doing that I think was intended to make the craft beer scene in Alberta a little bit more, to make it thrive a little bit more. They have raised the tax for breweries outside of the western provinces. So basically, the western provinces have are kind of together. So that's this BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. So if you're in those provinces and you're selling in Alberta, then you are you're good. It's called the New West Partnership. Anybody who is outside of that New West Partnership and wants to sell their brews in in Alberta has to pay a tax. Now, one brewery in particular, Muskoka Brewery, who Lockhart, as you'll remember, tried one of their beers on our show just 2 weeks ago and really liked it. Muskoka has decided that it's no longer economical for them to sell their beers in Alberta and is pulling out. But they're not just pulling out of Alberta, they're pulling out of the entire New West Partnership. So that means that they won't be selling their beers in British Columbia or Saskatchewan either. And I gather from what you're saying, Shane, that Muskoka isn't alone. There's other very prominent breweries that are thinking about, or threatening at least, to pull up and out of the west of Canada.
Yeah, according to the CBC, they are like Muskoka is just kind of the first of the bunch. But apparently Steam Whistle, Scotland's Innocent Gun are thinking about pulling out as well. They haven't actually said so, but they have made a lot of noise about it, which kind of leads you to think that that might be their next move. By increasing by more than 200%, the amount of tax these companies are having to pay to have their beer on the shelves. Oh yeah, 212.5% was the increase. And so I as well would be kind of going, well,
but that's like they were paying. Alberta. Is it not feasible still to do business in BC?
You'd think so, but
I mean, BC would be a much larger craft beer market than Alberta, I would think, wouldn't it?
I would think so. I mean, they have the population for it, and they have Calgary, which is basically a wasteland of drunks and crazy people. So I'm just waiting for Calgary to kill Burley in BC. No, but seriously, they to do this. I mean, I can see one reason why they're doing it, but ultimately, when people from out of province are like, "We're out," that means that you limit the beer supply. You essentially do limit the beer supply because the local producers are like, "Yay, yeah, it doesn't matter if we have to pay more tax; those suckers are out." So, I don't know. I think that I was about to sneeze. Alan, do some talking.
All right. No, I see what you're saying. I mean, a lot of these breweries are larger. They're the ones that can afford to reach beyond their initial borders and sell their product elsewhere. But what does this mean for the breweries that are here, the ones that are in the Western Partnership? Does this mean that Ontario is now going to do the same thing, and which keeps the Western beers from growing to become a national product? I'm thinking of Phillips, which is selling their stuff in Ontario now. What's to say that Ontario isn't going to do the same thing? Are we going to compartmentalize our craft brew industries? But by the same token, doing this could also ensure that our craft breweries stay craft breweries and not become big, huge conglomerates. Thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, if you read, it's kind of interesting how you read. Did you read any of the comments on the article that you sent around?
No.
My favorite, of course.
I don't read people's comments.
Yeah, exactly.
God, I don't care.
It's capitalism's fault. It has to do with interprovincial terrorism.
Interprovincial terrorism.
Apparently.
Really?
And my favorite comment is, under the previous regime, Muskoka paid a tax rate of 40 cents per liter based on its production. It now faces a rate of $1.25 per liter, or an increase of 212.5%. This is the fault of the NDP. And then somebody else said something very similar. Welcome to the NDP. So I don't know. Maybe this is an NDP problem. You never know.
I think this is. I believe that this legislation was designed to help Alberta producers, not necessarily to shut anybody out. If Muskoka or Steam Whistle or anything else is good enough, the consumer will pay the extra amount
I agree.
to drink their stuff. There are some beers that I notice that are at an extremely high cost because of the cost in bringing them here. I think they need to let the market decide. So I would say Muskoka, raise your prices to make it profitable for you to sell in these provinces, and let the market decide whether or not you should be here. What do you think?
That's not really letting the market decide.
No?
Well, no, because this is a government-imposed tax.
But they're not preventing them from selling here. They're not saying you can't sell here. They're just saying you can sell here, but because you're outside of this region, you have to pay a tax to make your beer available. And I agree, it's a high tax. But what they should do is, just try it at least. Raise the prices. If their beer is good enough, then people will still buy.
I don't know, though. A 220% increase. Can you imagine that?
In the tax. I mean,
For them,
I get you. I mean, it's big. It's huge. I mean, no bones about it. But it should be something that they should at least try to work with.
Yeah, I
guess
guess
I think it's actually
if
not
I
a
was
terrible
them,
idea.
I'd try.
It doesn't
But still,
hurt.
I guess
Well,
think
guess
about.
it could hurt, but...
I guess a lot of the bottles that I look at when we're picking something out seems to be, I don't know, what would you say, $6 to $8 generally?
Something like that, yeah.
Generally.
So okay, let's
for
go
the
conservative.
bomber,
We'll say
single serve bomber bottles, yeah.
yeah. So
But
okay, we'll go conservative. We'll say $6.
But
So
I'm
that's
seeing
more than double for a bottle.
Well, no, that's just double the tax that they pay to sell here. It's not going to double the price of the bottle.
No, but this is what I'm saying, right? If they want to defray that tax almost completely, we're talking about doubling the price of the bottle.
Okay, well, so let's say that you're right and that is the case. Okay, I'm seeing more and more beers that are coming in. They're even from BC, some of them, where they're charging $12, $15, $16, $17 for a single serve bottle of beer.
That's true. I've seen that.
Size.
Yeah.
It's entering into wine territory, and maybe that's
definitely
how these breweries from Alberta, or not from Alberta, from the east and other places can approach this. And I'll keep in mind that this taxation does not apply to BC, but a lot of these breweries are lumping us in with it because we're in cahoots with Alberta, but they don't pay the extra tax here in BC. And I've even seen some beers that are as high as $35 a bottle. So I mean, there is a market out there for the higher priced beers if they're good enough, and the market will decide whether or not they're good enough.
This is true, and it just proves that being an adult is getting too complicated. So therefore, it's time to be a unicorn.
What? Wow. Put on your
that was an interesting direction that went into. I thought you were going to say, we're all going to go back to being 20 again.
Oh, God, no. Would you actually want to be 20 again?
No really
way. No.
I'm 20 and I have all these problems.
No, you don't. No, it will get better.
No, I'm 20 and I have all the answers. I know everything.
Oh, those are even... Actually, that's the worst kind.
That's what the 20-year-old
because
is.
we were all there and we all did it. Beer. I'm trying to find the article. I actually bookmarked it, but I can't find it right now because I was stupid and put it in.
Oh, what do you?
It was about beer and hipsters.
Oh,
Never mind. Forget it.
Yeah,
Hipsters apparently.
like beer?
Hipsters are not drinking beer as much as they used to. Apparently, they are doing something even worse, which is drinking more
Cocaine.
bourbon. Well, that too.
Bourbon.
Cocaine and bourbon.
Yes.
Mainly because there has been a rise in cocktail interest, apparently, in the last few years. Not to mention, the thing that I really found very interesting was what you pointed out last week, Alan, which was the when we were talking about the beer advent calendars.
Advent calendars, yes.
There is now a bourbon and whiskey one,
And a gin.
and Allison found this the other day, a wine bottle advent calendar to the tune of $850.
Yoicks.
Yeah, I would have thought little tiny taster bottles would have been the way to go for wine, but
I seen it. It comes in like a wooden crate, and all the bottles in it are wrapped in white paper.
mm-hmm.
So you can't see what it is, and it has like a little thing on it, like 1, 2, 3, and you pick out the one. I mean, that's got to be a bit problematic. So you're basically having a bottle of wine every night.
I was just going to say, can you imagine trying to do that?
And they think this is, sometimes you're like, I don't know, this is kind of enough, right? No. Take an entire bottle of wine, which is and no, you better be sharing that because otherwise your liver by the 24th day is going to be like, I'm out. You're not making it to day 25. I'm sorry. Which my advent calendar is under my desk here still. It hasn't moved.
Mine is in the garage.
I am so looking forward to this. I'm going to put it in the fridge probably a few days.
I love beer, right?
Right.
But I don't see how I could drink a beer every single day for 24 days.
No.
I mean, I know some people do that, but I mean, that's just never been me. I sort of more appreciate the beer. I like to savor it. I like to try different things. I'm not the kind of guy who drinks to get loaded most times. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Would you like to say that again? But could you try to be a little more convincing? That's basically what I was just wanting to bring up that hipster article because they were talking about the article briefly touched on the bourbon calendar thing, but they didn't really have a whole lot of detail. I mean, the article that I found was like 2 months old, but I mean, the whole advent calendar thing has got me thinking about how many different kinds of advent calendars in the alcohol industry are popping up, and that was
started by beer. Beer was the trailblazer.
We did it first. So yeah, I was a little surprised, and that the people are not necessarily recognizing that beer is kind of awesome, and is beer vegan?
It could be.
I would think almost, yeah. As long as there's no honey in it.
Except for the maple bacon one that we had.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, I've been doing a little cleaning of our wonderful YouTube channels. I've been actually moving videos into their own channel now, and but it's kind of interesting because I've actually had to go through each of the videos to make sure that it is A, the right video, and 2, I at some point decided that keeping track of the beers and writing them down was kind of lame, so I stopped doing it. So I actually have had to go back and kind of go, what beer? But you know what really sucks? When we can't find any of the beers and we all get our own beer, and I'm like,
yeah.
Dave, would you hurry up and talk about your stupid video or talk about your stupid beer? What do you have? So, so I've been actually cleaning it up and adding a lot more detail to our posts. So if you guys ever want to know about the beers that we're talking about, you of course down below will be able to find the links that are associated with beer. Huh?
In hell? You said down below?
I said down. No,
in the
below the video. If you want to go down below the video in the description, you will find all of the things you could ever want about the beer we do.
Jackweed!
So anyway, yeah. So I've been, and also I've been making sure that you guys know how to follow us on all of our social media channels, and of course how to subscribe.
Because apparently I'm an idiot at it.
That's right, because I'm far more superior. So I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Basically, I was just saying, hey, we're doing a little cleaning around here. As of the new year, will of course be as awesome as ever. I'm trying to think of what other this week has been so incredibly horrible for like terrible things happening, and we need to really be more upbeat and more excited and funny. But
it's hard.
It is hard. I'm finding it actually kind of hard because there's so much going on that could be mentioned.
Like we've had... Okay. So I wanted to touch on this before when Dave was talking at the beginning. Is the world really that messed up? Is it really that much more messed up now than it was, say, in the 1970s? Aren't we just hearing about things more because of the internet?
And not at all. Well the world is pretty much the same. I mean, and you know what's really silly? Not these eyes. But what's really silly is I actually just the other day was thinking about anti-war songs. And of course, when you think about anti-war, you think of Joplin, you think of like
the Birds.
Bette Midler? No, not Bette Midler.
Midler?
Well, apparently Bette Midler in my mind. Don Johnson. Don Johnson too. No. Oh my God. Bob Dylan. Jesus Christ. You think of all this, all the '60s sort of stuff, but I instantly gravitated towards those songs about what was actually, something was positive, trying to create change. But then I thought, what kind of contemporary stuff, like stuff that I grew up with, stuff that was made when I was alive, or was made after I was born, sorry, because I'm dead now, apparently. Allie, I love you! But the song that actually I kept coming back to was Def Leppard's Hysteria, on the album Hysteria. There's a song called Gods of War. And if you listen to Gods of War, it has a whole bunch of clips in it interspersed with like not Janis Joplin, Shane, Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan, and a few other things. But so I looked up what those clips were because I listened to what they were doing and or listened to what they were saying, and then I actually went and searched online to find out what it was actually referring to. Because last Wednesday was also Remembrance Day. The clips are all about the attack in Libya when the U.S. and Britain bombed Libya because Gaddafi was, being Gaddafi. So it was just interesting that it really reminds you that everything we're hearing about right now, everything that we're seeing going on right now in the world, is not new. This stuff has been going on forever. It's been going on since we basically picked up rocks to beat the guy next to us because, his animal that he killed yesterday was a lot more tasty than mine. So, but then of course you add in like religion and all those kinds of things that have developed over time, and that gives other reasons to beat the guy next to you with a rock. But so yeah, it's not news. This is not news, and because one of the things I instantly was thinking about was, with the internet, we're hearing about all this stuff more often. Well, maybe even 200 years ago, sure, okay, if somebody blew themselves up outside of a school in, by the way, the bombings today were in Nigeria. If they blew themselves up outside of some building somewhere to try and kill other people, they would not have heard of it that quickly, true, but eventually they would have. Like the news would eventually travel, because even 100 years ago, the turn of the century, from the 19th to 20th, people would hear about stuff that was happening across the globe fairly quickly. So because we had the advent of Morse code and telegraphic stuff. So, but the reality is, even though yes, we are hearing about it more, it's not new. It has been happening for a long time, a lot longer than that we've been alive, our parents have been alive, our grandparents were alive, our great-grandparents. So, it's been going on for a long time. The same issues over and over and over again. It's just it seems to be this cyclical thing where you have each generation deciding that what they want, and some of them just follow what they learned when they were kids. So, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I'm just saying that that's just kind of what I've been reading and that kind of stuff. Because when the whole Paris thing happened, I instantly right away was like, oh, that is horrible and that's terrible. But I wasn't about to change my profile pic on Facebook to have the French flag behind it because I couldn't see the point. And after a couple days, a lot of other people sort of popped up going, yeah, no, what is the point? Because Beirut just got hit really hard, even worse, more and more, more people died there. But the public, their coverage was there, but the public just didn't seem to give a rip because it's Beirut. And I think a lot of us, especially our parents, Beirut was kind of the place where a lot of that stuff happened, so you kind of expected it to happen there. But not in Paris, which is why I think it got a lot of attention. And then, of course, Kenya, and then, of course, Nigeria now. Finally, people, I hope, are starting to recognize that as awful as it is, this stuff
happens all over the place.
We should support everybody and not just pick out one particular country or one particular city just because we know it. Which kind of is sad. It kind of points out to me that people know where Paris is, kind of. But if you were to look at a map and go, where's Beirut? Do you think people would find it right away? Probably not, which is unfortunate. And same thing for, like, where's Kenya? Where's Nigeria on the African continent? There was a great article, and this is getting really kind of depressing, but there's an article about somebody was saying just how big Africa was. They're trying to make a point of how many people really live there, how many different cultures are there, how many things that are there we should know about and should pay attention to. Mm-hmm. And they took Africa, a map, and then they put like North America and South America, and then they put like Europe and Russia, just kind of give people an illustration of just how big Africa is and how we don't recognize that there is so much going on there. There are so many things happening, good and bad. Yet no one gives a shit because we're so focused on the Western side of things. I mean, also there was some video running around, and I actually looked this up, and it's true. In a few countries in Southeast Asia, there are monks killing people.
What?
Monks! And you're like, what? Monks kill people? Yeah, some of them do, because they're jackasses. But does that mean that Buddhist monks everywhere are doing
this? Why are
this?
they killing people?
Who knows? There was about 20 different situations just in the last like 4 or 5 months where monks were slaughtering people, like killing kids too, which is just awful. But the point of that article was just saying that is it because people are saying, oh, Muslims are evil, oh, whatever. But he was saying, well, these monks are doing this horrible stuff, and no one is saying, oh, Buddhists are awful and should be wiped out. Like, there's no one saying that. It's just for some reason these guys think that it's okay to do that for whatever reason, and they're jackasses. What else can you say about it?
Xenophobia comes in all kind of flavors.
Mm-hmm. Some good news though. It's only 1 month, so either 30 or 31 days, 30 days, until the next Star Wars movie opens.
Whoa,
you guys
really?
have your tickets? You have your tickets?
I don't yet.
I don't either.
Nope.
Tickets are still available for opening night here.
They are still, well, as of a few days ago, they are still available here because I was still tinkering about going to the big marathon.
Yeah. They're not going to be doing the marathon.
I don't know if I can do 16 hours though. That just would my
the problem is with that marathon is by the time you get to the end of the marathon, you're going to be just so wiped. You're going to fall asleep halfway through the new movie.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering if that was a bad idea. So, I don't know. I'm still thinking.
But it would be worth it to pay for it and then go see, like, episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. because it's on the big screen. We haven't seen it on the big screen since
97.
1997. So, I don't know. I'm excited about it. So, but I still haven't brought myself to buy tickets this far in advance, just because I'm
Well,
a
what are you doing at Christmas?
hardcore fan.
Are you
but
coming? Are you coming here at Christmas?
I'm not sure.
Because we should go.
I agree. We've actually had something crop up today that might make us stay a bit longer here without actually, because we're busy right up until like the 19th, 20th. So with projects, so we're kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on vacation.
And if my mom watches this, oh jeez. I will totally be there at some point. I just don't know when and how that's going to work. But yeah, so but I agree. We have to go. I'm sure it'll play for a little while. So
at least a couple weeks, I'm figuring.
I would say at least.
Oh God, are you kidding? I suspect that this one will break a lot of records because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be really.
Have you seen the latest commercials?
No.
Like the TV spots? Oh my God. There's this one shot of the Millennium Falcon breaking through all these trees. It's amazing. And
See, this is what I'm worried about. This is what I'm absolutely terrified of, in fact.
Why?
Because it'll just be a pile of fucking eye candy, just like the new Star Trek.
Well, there is that. It might be.
That's what worries me. I'm not saying it will be, but that just is.
I think it will be. I think it will be. I also think that it will be better than the prequels. Like,
well, that's not that. Okay, you're not really setting the bar that high there.
No, I'm not.
Let's be honest.
No, but I don't know if they will exceed what the original trilogy was. Maybe Return of the Jedi. Maybe. I kind of like that. It seems like they're not really sticking with the cuteness factor, which was something that George Lucas, ever since Return of the Jedi, seemed really big on, was making this thing totally cutesy for kids.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's going to be any of that in this. I think this is going to be pretty hardcore, and I think it's going to appeal to adults more than it's going to appeal to kids. Shane is looking kind of surprised there. Shane, what's up?
You guys keep talking. I'm watching trailers, TV spots. Sorry, you guys are talking, and I'm just like, oh, I'll just go to StarWars.com and see if there's any. Ooh.
See, this was kind of what I was mentioning before we even started the podcast. What I wanted to.
Yeah, you said you had a topic you wanted to bring up, but.
Oh, sorry. Did we totally just?
Well, we kind of. No, we kind of seeged into it, anyways. Actually, and I was just curious how drawn into all the trailers you guys have been.
Oh, I've been totally drawn into them. Like, it seems like every day a new TV spot comes out, and I want to watch it because it's got like half a second of footage I haven't already seen.
That's the thing about these trailers, is that it's like the Japanese trailer had so much more in it than. Oh, just watch the Blade Falcon go through some trees. So yeah, I mean, I watched the Japanese one like a gazillion times, and I could not. I mean, stormtroopers with flamethrowers. I mean, come on, how awesome is that? The big thing that I would actually like to see.
The one that I saw today was a stormtrooper that had a special thing that fights off lightsabers.
What? Tell me more.
What
are you talking about?
He had a weapon that had like a shield thing on it that he used to defend against a lightsaber.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I could see that by then. Because, I mean, lightsabers were kind of the thing for such a long time, and now, they're not. They're actually...
Is it really? I mean, if you've killed off all the Jedi and there's no Sith, I mean...
Oh, so why would they have such a device?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like...
It's a very good point.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's fair.
In the off chance that you meet Luke Skywalker, here, have this. The one guy in the galaxy
Take one
that
of these,
cause
because
a
if you
problem
don't,
here. You want to have that. That's your last line of defense, boys.
It is so
Or
funny,
girls,
actually.
or...
It's so true.
Now, having said that, by this
Yeah.
point, Luke could be a force of nature, so you would want some kind of defense against him. Who knows?
It is true.
Yeah, maybe.
But
All right.
I have not seen a single trailer.
You have not?
TV spot. Zero.
Is that by choice?
That is by choice.
So I'm
Okay, because
kind
what's
of
about to
evil
tell you
by
to
telling
move out
you
of
the
the sticks
things that
again.
have...
I want the
So-
movie to be fresh. I want to
So
be
we could totally
surprised
mess
by
with,
it.
with Dave right here.
I can't believe that scene in the trailer where it looked like Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford were like making out. Like, what was that?
I know, right? And then
like,
and
Leia
all the
was like,
tentacles.
I don't get it. I wish I understood.
And Chewbacca is the size of his wang. I mean,
On that note, well, thank you very much for watching this episode 39 of the Crafty Boys. Of Alan, when people are not wanting to look at Chewbacca's big, huge wang, where can they find you online?
they can go on Twitter, Alan M. Ford, the Twitter thing with the @ and all that.
Dave, when people are not wanting to look at Mark Hamill's huge wang, where can they find you online?
I too am on the Twitters. I am the Fool. That's the PHULE on the Twitters.
Very cool. And of course, you can find me on the Twitters as well at Shane B. That's Shane B. EE. And also at shanesworld.ca. And of course, if you want to learn more about the Crafty Boys, you're on the right YouTube channel. I'm totally going to burp. Burp me. And of course, you can go to thecraftyboys.ca where you can learn all about us. And of course, you can see us on the Twitters at twitter.com/thecraftyboys, and as well other places online. It's all down in the description thing here. Not in hell, in description. And so tonight we want to thank Russell Brewing for I totally held the bottle up wrong. For they didn't send it. We bought these ourselves. I'm not thanking them for nothing. A wee scangry. A wee scangry arch rail. A wee scangry. I did it again. A wee angry Scotch Ale. From Russell Brewing, from right here in British Columbia, brewed in our general vicinity. Actually, that's the only beer we had tonight. So I did that to focus my camera, not to make
I thought you were high-fiving me.
Oh, Alan, high five!
High five!
Dave, high five! Never mind. Thank you again. We will see you next week. We record live every Saturday. Saturday?
Wow.
We record every Wednesday night, 9:30 to about 10:30ish. Come join us, chat us up, and tell us how awesome we are, because we think we are. Anyway, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye!